Hello and welcome to a dark and cloudy Autodromo Nazionale Monza. It's race day for the Italian Grand Prix, and to kick off the action, it's race 2 of the GP3 series, live for you on Eurosport. It's Patrick Niederhauser who finished 8th yesterday on the reverse pole. Jack Harvey alongside him in 2nd. Then it's Courjus and Alexander Sims. Lewis Williamson 5th. Our championship leader, Facu Regalia, 6th. Then it's Nick Yellerly. Daniil Kvyat, yesterday's race winner, is 8th. Carlos Sainz Jr. alongside him in 9th. Had some bad luck yesterday and he'll be looking to make amends. Then it's Kujala, Venturini 11th, Melville McKee 12th. Jimmy Eriksson is 13th. Zonzini 14th. Fumanelli 15th. Ario Vainio having a disaster of a weekend is 16th. Samin Gomez 17th. Carmen Jorda is 18th. Then it is Fong, Cullen, Fontana, Bizou, Daly, Elenas, Webster and Sir Silva. We're going to head for a quick commercial break. Plenty of action still to come.
Hi, I'm Diego Ioverno, Scuderia Ferrari Race Operation Manager, and this is the inside track to Italy.
Monza is the most demanding track for the engine, not only on performance, but reliability.
When you drive for Ferrari, it's a unique Grand Prix where you feel the support and the emotion from all the Italian fans.
The support of Tifosi is fundamental for us. It's giving us an extra boost in every activity that we do.
Obviously, it's a very passionate race for Ferrari and the wider team, and at Shell, we share that passion for performance.
For us, it's our home Grand Prix, and it's an extra pressure that we love to have.
When you're wearing the red uniform, you do feel like a rock star.
It may be a more severe track in terms of horsepower and full throttle, but from the point of view of engine oil temperature, although the stresses are higher, the temperature is actually not too bad.
It's where the best engine will win. It becomes a competition between engine manufacturers.
The drivers can be at full throttle for around 70 to 75% of the circuit.
The car has low drag, so for the same amount of power, the car goes faster or further. So averagely, over the lap, you use less fuel.
Winning in Monza for Ferrari is something amazing.
Delivering Formula One to the world. DHL. Excellence simply delivered for you.
Welcome back to the Autodromo Nazionale Monza and race 2 on Grand Prix Sunday here. The Tifosi are gathering, the grandstands are filling up, and it's GP3 that get the day underway. It's very much cooler than it has been over the last couple of days, but it's hotting up in the tall fight. Regalia is leading Kvyat, the man of the moment. Connor Daly didn't finish yesterday through no fault of his own, is 3rd. Then it's Courjus on the same amount of points. Tio Elenas taken out as well as Daly in turn 1 yesterday is 5th. Then it is Nick Yellerly, and I tell you what, if yesterday's race is anything to go by, we've got plenty of action for you, because we do have effectively a 4-5-way fight for this title. It's the penultimate round here at Monza, round 7 of 8 of this 2013 GP3 series. If you suffer from motion sickness, look away now. But this is a really good camera if you don't, because this gives you an idea of what the drivers are going through. That was Carmen Jorda She'll start from the back of the grid, the back end of the grid, sorry, 18th. And she's been in all sorts of bother this weekend with a problem with her heel, then a penalty in race 1, and then stop and go for a jump start. And Carmen will be looking for a better race here on Sunday morning. So the cars weaving to get heat into their tyres. Temperature will be an issue down into the Rettifiglio, the first turn here at Monza, because the temperature is vastly cooler than it has been over the last few days. And the engineers and the drivers will have to change strategy ever so slightly in terms of pressure to account for that. And certainly hot brakes and hot tyres are what you need going into the Rettifiglio. That will help us avoid an incident that we saw yesterday. Dino Zamparelli, the Brit, will not start here this morning after he's suspended from today's race because of his involvement in yesterday's incident at the first corner. So Dino Zamparelli banned for race 2 here at Monza. Round 7 and race 2 of the 2013 GP3 series. The cars are lining up on the grid here at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. That is Charlie Whiting and Leon Price on the start gantry. Charlie Whiting will play the pivotal part of turning the lights off, and Leon Price, the technical manager here at GP3. The green flag waves, the red lights build, so do the engine revs. Watch your poleman Niederhauser, he's slow away, he's stalled in fact, and that looks as though it is Harvey who's very quick away, and I didn't see who's caught the back of Niederhauser. I was panicking because that is so often the case, and that is another big crash at turn 1. That looks as though it is Theo Elinas who has run over the back of one of the cars in front. Viso Yu is out on the left-hand side of the screen. So more carnage here at Monza, down into the Rettifiglio. And the GP3 drivers haven't got it right here at Monza in terms of their approach to the first corner. And Niederhauser stalled from pole position. What a disaster. His bad season goes from bad to worse, and when you do stall, you run the risk. That was Ryan Cullen, sorry, not Theo Elinas, and he's got it all wrong. I thought it was Theo Elinas. It wasn't. I've done him a massive disservice by implicating him in that melee. It is Ryan Cullen, and what a shame for all those involved, because there's no excuse really for that type of driving. We know it's a heavy braking zone. We know what can happen at the Rettifiglio, and you need to take into account cold tyres, cold brakes. Understand that you cannot win it on the first corner. Ryan Cullen emulating what Dino Zamparelli did yesterday. Zamparelli banned from today's race, or suspended, I should say. What will happen to Ryan Cullen? He'll be up in front of the stewards for his part in that melee. That is Ben Fontana's car. I think it was Fontana then who has hit his teammate, pole sitter Niederhauser, stalling, and Fontana, by the looks of things, that started way down in 21st, has managed to collect his teammate. Very difficult when there's a stalled car on the grid. Watch Niederhauser on the right-hand side of your screen, and it was Corjus who was very quick away, unsighted. Viso Yu almost collected him, and Fontana with absolutely nowhere to go. Now watch, Ryan Cullen just gets it all too wrong into Venturini. And There's no excuse for young Brit. Look, left his braking way too late. And it's a real shame because that is Venturini's race done. Look, Viso you at the last minute. And I have to say that's incredibly scary for Fontana because that was a big impact. And there's just nothing you can do. And look at the wheel and the energy dissipated from that. And that is why we have the catch fencing around the circuits, to save those of you watching from the perimeter. Because that tyre was travelling and at a rate of knots. I'm so happy to see that all the safety precautions that have been put in place work here at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. Look at that. Courjus nearly into the side of Sims through no fault of his own. He was taking evasive action, trying to get out of the way of Patrick Niederhauser. Sims with a good run down to the Rettifidio. The safety car lights are out, which means he'll be in this time around. And Niederhauser saying, it wasn't my fault, there was something wrong there. Jack Harvey leads this race from Alexander Sims. The two Brits, first and second. Harvey with the jump, Sims going with him. Regalia finds himself back in third position. He just keeps doing it, doesn't he, the Argentine? I won't jinx him anymore, but he's got Williamson behind him, and then Courjus. And then it's Nick Yellerly, yesterday's podium man, and Sims immediately under pressure from Facu Regalia, who is racing down into the Rettifidio. Sims brakes very late, trying to keep it on the outside. Regalia runs him wide, and that is Williamson and Yellerly going straight on. Harvey gets through, Regalia is also through. Williamson, sorry, didn't go through the chicane. He's battling it, well, yes he did, because no he didn't. That's Sims that he's battling with. So Melville McKee was the Bamboo Engineering car going through the Rettifidio. And that is Courjus around the outside of Alexander Sims. And here comes Daniil Kvyat, yesterday's race winner. Or, yes it is, and that is Sainz behind, Sainz Jr. by the looks of things. So it's all happening. That is car 17 with no rear wing. So he's going to need to get out of the way because Jimmy Eriksson will find himself being a thorn in the side of this lead battle. He's going to have no drag, so he's going to be incredibly quick in a straight line. And someone spinning coming out of the Variante Ascari is Courjus. Putting... Oh, there you go. That is just absolutely horrendous driving by Jimmy Eriksson. What was he doing? Getting in the way of the lead battle with no rear wing, and Nick Yellerly quite rightfully out of the car, hands aloft, because that's ruined his race. Kevin Courjus down into turn one. Daniil Kvyat, he's battling with, that is Melville McKee going through, going straight on. Courjus still with Daniil Kvyat all over the back of him. MW Arden versus Karainen, the drag down to the Della Roggia, downhill braking over the bumps. Who can make it stick? Courjus hangs on to that position. Daniil Kvyat very fast at this stage in the race, as he was yesterday. The difference is, starting from the reverse grid, he's found himself fourth when he was leading at this stage yesterday. Nevertheless, 8th to 4th is a good return in the opening couple of laps. Jack Harvey leads up to the Variante Ascari. That is Facu Regalia behind. Then it's Williamson, Courjus, Sainz, Sims. Kvyat, Sainz, Sims. Look at this. What is Eriksson doing? He just locks up, goes wide, and that is why I said earlier on, out of the Variante Ascari, Jimmy Eriksson, move over, get out of the way of the lead battle. But no, he decided that he wanted to play, and he's really ruined the Brits race there. And the Carlin crew and Nick Yellerly will be absolutely furious, and I hope the officials come down on him, because it's just brainless. You haven't got a rear wing on your car. What were you doing, Jimmy Eriksson? Down into the Rettifilio. Further down, that's the recovering Conor Daly. That is for 11th position. He's ahead of a gaggle of cars. Lap 4 here at Monza. Jack Harvey leading for Facu Regalia. Lewis Williamson, Courjus, Kvyat and Sims having a look, or trying to defend from Carlos Sainz Jr. And Sainz Jr. just putting Alexander Sims wide coming out of the Della Roggia down to the Lesmo. That was a bit suspect. The stewards will have a look at that, but it might have been within the letters of the law, just about. Alexander Sims, nevertheless, will not feel like it was. He'll feel aggrieved, because he was right in the mix a few laps ago. Now he finds himself down in 6th position, and that is due to the railroading effect that you get here at Monza. If you just lose momentum and get pushed wide as a car passes you, then it's very difficult to get back into the train, and that's what's happened to Carlos Sims. Daniil Kvyat now looking at the back of Kevin Courjus, who set the fastest lap last time around. Jack Harvey still leads from Regalia, with Lewis Williamson all over the back of the Argentine. And then it is Daniil Kvyat looking very racy behind Kevin Courjus. He toes up alongside down into the Rettifilio. He's going to try and brake later. Courjus having none of it. If you're going to pass Kevin Courjus, you're going to have to work a bit harder than that. Sainz Jr. still in the mix in terms of trying to shake off Alexander Sims, and they have Melville McKee closing up on the pair of them. And Williamson has made it around the outside of our championship leader, Facu Regalia, thinking better of challenging Lewis Williamson. And so it's all changed for that final podium position. It's now Williamson second behind Jack Harvey. Regalia drops down to 3rd. Courjus is 4th, with the fast charging Daniil Kvyat on the back of him. You just think if Kvyat can get past, he's got so much pace up his sleeve. We saw him win dominantly yesterday. He's won in pretty much every category he's raced here. 6 times he's won throughout his career at Monza. And here he comes on Courjus. The braking zone's not big enough into the Parabolica, so he doesn't make that stick, concentrates on trying to get a good exit instead. And now he'll tow up to the back of Courjus. How much momentum has he got though? And can he get the slingshot around the outside? It doesn't look as though he's got enough pace. Courjus will go defensive. Kvyat thinking better of it. 6 laps in here at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. Conor Daly fighting off the attentions of Patrick Kujalia and Robert Vizoiu, the Romanian, behind. This is a battle for 9th place. Daly's just picked that up. Kujala was 9th across the line, so Daly now into the top 10 from the back of the grid. He started 23rd. Where is Teo Elenas? We saw him earlier. He's just behind in 13th. We just saw him in that gaggle of cars, the red and white. There he is, because you have Kvyat, Vizoiu. Elenas has got past Zonzini, and then it's Vainio, the last car in this train. Through the meandering Variante Ascari, the fastest chicane here on the Autodromo Nazionale Monza circuit, and Kujala drifting through the mid part of that corner. That's not going to do his tyres any good. That's his teammate, Kevin Courjus. Kevin Courjus is, if we look at the points battle, right in the mix in terms of challenging for this crown. He is 4th in points behind Connor Daly, and importantly ahead of Connor Daly here in race 2 of this 7th round 2013 GP3 series. Harvey still your leader, Williamson closing that gap, then it's Facu Regalia, the championship leader, in 3rd, Courjus 4th, Kvyat 5th, Carlos Sainz 6th, Sims 7th, Melville McKee 8th. We're looking now at the battle between Ario Vainio and Zonzini. Vainio has made that stick. Zonzini, though, wants that place back, quite rightfully so. He's not going to do it into the Della Roggia and backs off. Vainio now through in to 13th place, and it's been a bit of a disaster for Ario Vainio. Came in to this weekend right in the points battle in 6th place, and has now been leapfrogged by a couple of drivers, Jack Harvey and being one of those. This is his teammate, and that is Courjus and Kvyat. Has Kvyat got past Courjus? He has. That was a replay of the move for position. So Kvyat now in to the all-important 4th place. Courjus now has another Red Bull car behind him, because that is Carlos Sainz Jr. behind him. In turn, Alexander Sims just towing up. It's a 3-car snake as they meander up the front straightaway down in to the Rettifidio. What can Kvyat do now? I tell you what, with 9 laps still to go, you'll be brave to bet against this man, because if he can make easy work of Facu Regalia, then the title fight is on, because these two now, 3rd and 4th in this race, 1st and 2nd in the championship battle. The penultimate round of the 2013 GP2 series. This is where it hots up, and who will go to Abu Dhabi as the points leader. Through the second Lesmo, very close here at Monza. It has been that way in all the categories, from Formula 1 right the way through to GP3. And Kvyat making a move now away from Courjus. Sims trying to catch up lost ground. He's behind Carlos Sainz, and it'll be Sainz now turning his attentions to trying to pass Courjus. Kvyat getting a sniff of that toe behind Facu Regalia. 11 points separate Facu Regalia and Daniil Kvyat in the championship fight. And we're about to see them nose to tail on the track here at Monza as the battle for the lead heats up. Williamson goes purple that time around, fastest lap of the race for Lewis Williamson. He's now got the gap down to his fellow countryman Jack Harvey. It's half a second between the pair as we see car number 18, Adderley Fong, getting it wrong into the Rettifidio. He was racing with Samin Gomez. Samin Gomez rejoining in front of Adderley Fong, as it should be, because she managed to go around the Rettifidio. And Adderley Fong went round it. Around the outside, I should say. So this is your lead battle. Jack Harvey in the red and white car, closely followed by Lewis Williamson in the Bamboo Engineering car. There's Facu Regalia. And there's Daniil Kvyat, 1st and 2nd in the championship fight. Courjus still ahead of Carlos Sainz in 5th. And then it is Alexander Sims in 7th place. Melville McKee just off the back of this battle, this 3-way battle now for 5th position. And points really important in this element of the year. Very closely fought, this GP3 crown. It's definitely the one I looked at in the summer break out of all the categories and thought, you know what, it's very difficult to pick a champion out of these guys. They're so closely matched and so talented, so many big names in this GP3 series, and what a credit it is to GP3 to attract all these talented youngsters. 7 laps left here at the Autodromo Nazionale in Monza. Jack Harvey leads the second race here on Grand Prix Sunday. The sun is in, the clouds are out. Rain did threaten, but it looks as though it's going to hold off. And we're watching the battle for 5th place. Kevin Courjous has had his hands full. It's definitely been a race where these drivers have had to roll their sleeves up and fight for everything, because there is absolutely no respite. And that's how it should be, and that is the way the Monza track works. The towing element down these 2 straights means that it's very difficult to get away. And Facu Regalia is not getting away from Daniil Kvyat. In fact, Kvyat, the Russian, has caught the Argentine and will be close enough to tow right up to the back of that ART machine as they exit the Parabolica. Expect Regalia to start to come under pressure down in to the Rettifidio. Our 2 championship contenders about to get racy with 6 laps still to go here at Monza. The Tifosi starting to line the grandstands, and they're going to watch a championship battle unfold here in this GP3 series, because this is the penultimate round and points are pivotal. Facu Regalia, definitely a driver who has done an absolutely magical job in being consistently fast. And Kvyat, the man of the moment, he's really coming off the back of some great results. If you look, he's had 3 podiums in the last 5 races, 2 of those wins. And the Red Bull man really making the most, and Silva moving out of the way of the lead battle there. Part of his side skirt hanging off, and that is what we didn't see earlier on from Jimmy Eriksson. Sensible driving from the Carlin Motorsport man. Doesn't get involved in the lead battles for this top 10. And Jack Harvey's still looking very comfortable out in front. He just looks as though he has the measure of Lewis Williamson. And an impressive drive so far from the Brit. Made a mistake at Spa-Francorchamps, and he's come back to Monza and put it behind him, and driving very well out front in this second race. His teammate Facu Regalia and the championship leader now coming under pressure from Daniil Kvyat. Kvyat having a big look up the inside of the Rettifidio. Sims in turn trying to put Carlos Sainz Jr. under pressure. That's not going to work. Sainz Jr. will not flap at that. In fact, he had his eyes firmly on the back of Kevin Courjous' car. The 5th place man and the Korean GP runner. And Kvyat around the outside of Facu Regalia, and that is how you settle a championship fight. Put it on the edge and see who blinks first. It was Facu Regalia that got out of it, because he saw Kvyat coming around the outside, and you will not see a more dominant pass than that all day long. That is Daniil Kvyat, second place in the championship, putting one over the championship leader, Facu Regalia, 4th position. And that is points in the bag for Daniil Kvyat. And I tell you what, that is definitely the Russian flexing his muscles, because that was a big point thrown in the direction of Facu Regalia. I mean business in 2013, and I'm going to do everything I can to win this crown. And can he do it? 5 laps still to go here in the penultimate round of the 2013 GP Series Championship fight is going to go down to the wire. Daniil Kvyat now is in 3rd place, and he'll set his sights on Lewis Williamson. Such is his pace advantage here this weekend. Don't forget, Kvyat started 8th and he's worked his way through to 3rd place. And with 4 laps still to go, anything can happen. Can the Russian catch Lewis Williamson? The gap now down to 9/10. And as I say that, Williamson's got the hurry up because Jack Harvey's just put 2 wheels in the gravel on the exit of the Della Roggia. That's gonna dirty his tyres. He manages to survive the first Lesmo without too many issues, and through the second Lesmo, sliding the car out to the exit curb. Jack Harvey, that's the first blink in terms of a mistake from the young Brit. Through the Variante Ascari, the front 3 meander through the fast chicane here onto the back straight. Williamson looking in his mirrors, but towing up to the back of Jack Harvey. Kvyat trying to break the toe of Facu Regalia, and I think we're going to have a 3-way battle for the lead. What an exciting finish or climax to the race that would be. So 2 Brits out front, Jack Harvey in the ART machine, the red and white machine, Lewis Williamson in the white machine with the bluey grey nose, right up to the back of Jack Harvey now in the Rettifilio. So everything I said a few laps ago about Jack Harvey looking comfortable has now been erased. Is that the commentator's curse? I do apologise if it is, but Jack Harvey now under pressure from Lewis Williamson. We're looking at Samin Gomez and car number 18, Adley Fong, getting together on the straight. There's no excuse for that. 290 clicks, these GP3 cars, and if you get together, they had a very lucky escape, because that could have been a very nasty incident indeed. So somewhere along the line, as we're watching that replay, Kvyat has caught Williamson. He's made a mistake, and now Kvyat is ahead of the Bamboo Engineering entry. Lewis Williamson has made a mistake somewhere, dropped back into the clutches of Daniil Kvyat. Somewhere in the 2 Lesmos, Kvyat has managed to close on Lewis Williamson and made the move into the entry of the Variante Ascari. Now they're down into the Parabolica, and Daniil Kvyat is looking very racy out front, snaking down the start and finish straight, trying to break the toe of Lewis Williamson, whilst keeping one eye out front on Jack Harvey. Williamson trying to send it up the inside and just about gets out of it as Carlos Sainz Jr. locks his rears and almost slides into Kevin Courjus. 2 laps left here at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, and what a race these boys and girls in GP3 have thrown up for us on Grand Prix Sunday. Carlos Sainz Jr. still with his mirrors filled with the Carlin machine of Alexander Sims, and that is a big shunt, and that is Adley Fong. And where is that? Wherever it is, he's taken a big hit on the left front, and we saw him almost in trouble on the start and finish straight a lap before, holding his back now. What's he? This is with Gomez, and Gomez has moved across, and I tell you what, very, very lucky not to go over there. That is a very high-speed accident for Adley Fong. Watch this, Gomez now moves one way, Fong goes the other, dummies, and then Gomez moves back across. 2 movements, approaching the braking zone at 290 kilometers an hour. Adli Fong with nowhere to go and is a very, very lucky man indeed. Just ask the question, what are they thinking? It's just unacceptable driving, and I hope the stewards come down on that like a ton of bricks, because Samin Gomez has moved across, having seen Adli Fong send the dummy. You cannot then move to counteract that, and that is exactly what she's done. 2 movements, and you can see the remnants of that accident. Polystyrene bollards litter the track at the Reta Fidio, and I have to say Adli Fong will be very, very aggrieved, and he's lucky to get out of that unscathed. Carlos Sainz Jr. finally succumbs to the pressure of Alexander Sims. That's a mistake into the first Lesmo, just got offline, couldn't hold the oversteer, and in turn will now try and get all the way around the outside, and was nowhere near doing that. I mean, unabated speed into the Variante Ascari. We're down on to the last lap here at the Autodromo Nacional in Monza. Daniil Kvyat closing up to the back of Jack Harvey, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make this stick, and this is a real championship contenders drive from Daniil Kvyat. He's been tigerish all weekend, and Connor Daly now turns Sainz's race from bad to worse, but Jack Harvey is across the line to take the checkered flag and his second win of the 2013 campaign. Daniil Kvyat across the line in second, Lewis Williamson third, Facu Regalia fourth. Our championship leader Kevin Corjus manages to hold on in fifth. Then it's Alexander Sims, Melville McKee, Connor Daly putting Carlos Sainz down into ninth into the Parabolica on the last lap. Viso Yu rounding out the top 10, but what a great drive by the ART man, the Brit Jack Harvey, puts his name in lights here on Grand Prix Sunday at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, and that is indeed his second win of the 2013 campaign. But what about that from Daniil Kvyat in second place? He started 8th, won yesterday's race, nearly got the double in one weekend. And I tell you what a time to put in a performance like that. That is a real championship contenders drive. And if the move on Facu Regalia was anything to go by, around the outside into this corner, the Della Roggia, he means business going into round 8. And the title is really hotting up in GP3. That is going to be an absolute must not miss. And we had it in